here from the Wolf HunterZ. We have a reaction video for you guys, and we are gonna bring it to you, the reaction video. But before we do that, we wanted to tell you about this link that's sitting there below me. You see it? But that's not where you click it. You click on it in the description box.
Click it and pick it.
That's where the link is hyper at. So you do that, and when you do that, that's when you can choose between a music video or a musical performance, or like a documentary segment, or a like a Broadway segment scenes, I don't know, whatever. Whatever kind of video you'd like that's on YouTube, right? So you can click down there, you could do it there. I mean, and you don't only have to think about it when you click that link. You could be thinking about it like while you're at work, as long as you're doing your job, because that's important.
That is very important.
Yeah. Time to lean, time to clean. Did you ever have a boss that said that? Oh, you have time to lean, you have time to clean. All right, anyways. I wish I thought more like that around our house. Anyways, moving forward, today's video is brought to you guys by Brian, who's bringing us David Bruce on Syllabus. Oh, nope. That is not Syllabus. That is...
Syllabus? What do you think? This is elementary school? Syllabus?
I don't know.
Is that what they use it in elementary schools? Or college?
Well, they use it in all schools. Because that's just like what you're going to go through that semester or whatever. Anyway, it's Sibelius Symphony number 5. I'm gonna guess that Brian will probably tell us actually how to say that.
He does. I can see it now.
Okay. What do you mean? Like you could see it now, or you can actually?
I literally just saw it right now. As you said it, I was like, "Oh yeah, there it is."
All right. Brian says, "Hi, Travis and Susie. I'm so thrilled that you and your viewers have reacted so positively to the music of John. Oh, God.
But instead of J, it's a ZH, like the S in the word measure.
Okay, so
Jean. Like Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Jean-Claude Van Damme. Okay, so Jean Sibelius. Jean Sibelius.
Yeah.
Here's... Gosh, that was a nightmare. Oh my gosh. We do not win the award for smoothest
I do think we get an A for effort, though. Like, we're really trying hard. Like, we're working hard.
I have seen some people who are like, whatever, I don't care,
We at least give it our best.
We do try. We try. All right. Anyways, here is English composer and YouTuber David Bruce talking about Sibelius Fifth Symphony. The first movement of which I am sending your way next to bask in. Sibelius' 7 symphonies are every bit as important as Beethoven's 9 symphonies, and helped to put Finnish music, which is so ardently and deservedly promoted by folks like Gaiwadi Korngood, on the map. Yes. Also, I wanted to give you some more life-affirming and hopeful music to share after requesting the extremely dark music of Mailer, which is absolutely beautiful and needs to be heard. It can also make me really depressed if I listened to too much of it. Unfortunately, I did recently overdose on Mailer during my effort to bring you guys the very best representations of his music.
Oh, so you have to do like
and it has gotten me into a bit of a funk. Luckily, my effort to follow it with some Sibelius has helped me.
Why do you say the S with like a Z? That was Jean with the Z reference.
Try my best, Travis. Sibelius has helped me through it. And I'm absolutely delighted by the positive responses that I've shared so far, Night Ride and Sunrise and historic scenes, that I can feel good about sharing more. I love you guys.
Aww.
And please don't let the Mailer stuff bring you down, as there is hope at the end of a rainbow. That's true. I've seen the end of a rainbow. And,
we've been seeing full rainbows.
Yeah, and while the end of the rainbow that I saw was in the middle of a street that was busy, there was hope there. Hope that people would get from their one destination to the next. It lived in the middle of the street.
Yeah, there wasn't gold. There was no pot of gold, but I would say hope is as good as gold.
Yeah. You know, and then when you do
capacity.
see the end of a rainbow, you might be like, oh, I have the gold, and then you look and you see Travis next to you, and you go, you know what? I do have the gold.
Dang.
His and subscribe. Nothing?
No,
you just
rendered
it. Speechless?
I'm just taking
just absorbing the compliment?
You know what I mean?
It's great.
This is a traditional song from Finland. The words are from the Kalevala, a collection of traditional Finnish poetry, and the song describes the creation of the first kantele, an instrument used in traditional Finnish music. The music and the verse could be called circular in form. They go round and round, almost as if they've been going on forever. Sibelius scholar James Hepakoski calls it open-ended, potentially infinite restatements of a reciting phrase. Forms like this, which seem static and cyclic, form a large part of Sibelius's work, and in particular the Fifth Symphony. It often takes the form of two chords rocking back and two. And you can also hear it in the culmination of the symphony, the famous Swan Hymn, so called because Sibelius wrote about how he was inspired by some swans which flew nearby his house in Finland.
What?
The swan theme is actually even more...
Okay, time out. When I see swans, I do not create a symphony. That, my friends, is magical, okay? If someone is sitting there looking out... Now, listen, there's a lot of birds out our window. There's where we live, it would be great for bird watching. Bird Watchers United. I don't know why I said that. Anyway, but when I look at them, I don't create a symphony in my mind. But he was inspired by some swans.
When I hear someone talk about swans, I think of Happy Gilmore. And I think of, stop looking at me, swan!
Actually, when someone talks to swans, I think of this one time that my family and I visited Florida, and my sister tried to feed a swan some bread, and it, literally attacked her. I don't think that she realized how large they were once they get, up close to you. They're
I do love the beauty of a swan.
They're fairly large.
Yeah.
And they're not, afraid. They want their bread. You should just give it to them.
Yeah.
Or not have bread. So, anyways, that's what I think about. It's my swan experience. I wish we had swan. We don't have swans. That'd be cool.
You're a swan. So beautiful and elegant.
With such a strong neck.
And loves bread. And will
and will attack for bread.
The swan theme is actually even more cyclic in that it's palindromic. Its end really is the same as its beginning.
Oh, interesting. That's really cool. Wow.
The powerful forces which lead to the emergence of this theme are part of the unique structure of this symphony, which gradually builds the theme piece by piece, cycling round and round, adding more each time. It's a unique and original approach which Hepakoski calls rotational form. But in many cases, I think a better term for what Sibelius does here would be spiral, particularly if you think of a kind of gravitational spiral, like this marble falling down a funnel, or the way an object would fall into a black hole. In this kind of gravitational spiral, each time we go round, things become more intense and more powerful, gradually reaching an explosive intensity at the centre of the spiral. And there are several times in the Fifth Symphony when you hear something at a quite visceral level just really sounds exactly like this. And in a way, the whole of the first movement is a giant spiral that intensifies as it goes on. It's a journey from those almost completely static opening notes we heard earlier, through to the torrent of notes that come at the end of the movement 13 or so minutes later. And within that structure, there's a sort of rotating, intensifying cycle of ideas, so that that opening idea first becomes this, and eventually this. The cycles in Sibelius' music relate to nature. When we think of Sibelius and nature, we usually think of those windswept landscapes, maybe punctuated by the odd bird call. But these cycles could be seen as a deeper aspect of nature, the unchanging, relentless roll of the seasons that carry on oblivious to human life. But it's also worth remembering that Sibelius was very much a human within nature, and one of the aspects of his symphonies which makes them so powerful to people is this struggle between the cyclic eternal forces and the emotional power of the human spirit. And most of those spirals or circles do end up in a triumphant show of human willpower, including, of course, the closing pages of the whole piece.
Yeah.
You know, it's amazing, actually. I'm thinking, as I'm watching this video and I'm hearing this person, like, you know, really honor the artist here, you know, the composer or whatever, and Brian himself too, you know, and as I'm watching these videos over and over, I realize what's interesting is that there is this real honor for like composers and stuff and people who write the music and the fascination and all this stuff versus like a pop music where no one cares who wrote it, they just care about who's performing it, you know. Where I think that's kind of interesting how there's these two very different cultures.
Most people don't care.
Most people, yeah.
I would say there are people who know all that stuff. That's like something that we've learned as we've done reaction videos, is that there are a lot of people with lots of information.
Yeah. And it's just interesting, just the
difference.
Yeah, just think about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Sibelius himself once warned against talking about music. It's rather impossible to explain art with words, he said. But I hope at least that these thoughts give you some new things to think about as you listen to one of the 20th century's symphonic masterpieces.
How cool would it be to like have the handwritten?
Yeah. We went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and just getting to see like people's notebooks and stuff was very cool. Yeah,
we got to see some of the original chicken scratch.
Yeah.
Of, you know, how some really famous songs were written out.
Yeah. That was very cool.
The first time, yeah.
Thank you so much for that, Brian. And thank you guys for hanging out. If you guys want to request your own personal reaction, you can find this link in the description box below. You can request music, movie scenes, compilation videos, documentaries, things like that. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Stay tuned. And most of all, stay positive.
And don't forget, we love you guys so much.
We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
I just wanna bang my dream.